Hello and welcome back. You're with me.
I see snap.
Iglooghost is the topic today, and I am happy. Originating from Belfast, I believe, based in wherever the hell he is at this minute. Imagine an alien from a distant galaxy deciding to drop a beat on the UK, pushing UK bass, his psychedelic, energetic, unique and vibrant electronic music. It's hard to pinpoint a genre so experimental, with his previous albums like Neo Wax Bloom, which is a wild ride through a hyperactive, fantastical world. The album tells the story of a mysterious worm-like creature named Zhang. Sorry, I cannot pronounce it, I'm so sorry. Who crashes into the strange world of Mamu. Still following? Each track bursting with complex beats, these rapid fire samples, and surreal soundscapes really groundbreaking stuff for me. And they create this really immersive experience, a real kaleidoscopic auditory adventure. Later albums like XYZ, which was a collaborative project with Kai Whitston and Baby, aesthetically quite similar to some of his previous albums. And then his last album, Ley Line Eon, where Iglooghost shifted towards a more organic sound, more refined and polished even, but still while continuing to build on this elaborate world that he's created. The album explores concepts of ley music, a genre inspired by the ancient rituals of ley lines like through Stonehenge and all those things, focusing on a more natural side of music, combining orchestral with electronic. I think Ley Line Eon was quite ambitious and it stands out as such. Now with the new album Tidal Memory Exo, an album he said to have made whilst living in a rust-ridden, flooded squat in a weird UK seaside town. Look, I've lived in a lot of seaside towns, and let me tell you, the vibe of this album just sums that whole thing up. Especially where I lived, which was dreary, dead, nothing there. All you could do was whatever you could find, basically. Or as Iglooghost describes it, an area that has been in an endless storm, causing strange, otherworldly, primordial objects to wash up on the shore. Populated by rogue, scrap-hoarding junk weirdos, with the vibe of a seaside town. And the first track on the album is a clear introduction to this vibe and the story he's trying to tell, with this clear tidal ambience, which is completely fitting. Hard-hitting kicks with this descending bass. Everything sounds tight, it's heavy, it's glitchy. Following this perfectly with New Species, a dark, heavy tune, infectiously head bopping, glitchy with his vocals that work really well over the top of this ambience. Lyrically as weird as the concept of the album, really solidifying the album as a whole. The album is full of jumped up sounds, textures, dreary but cool vibes, amazing ambience, be that the machine gun style percussion and bass on Alloy Flea, the subtle trap influence on Germ Chrism, or choral mimics sounding very much like, I want to say Radioactive Man, not to be confused with The Simpsons. Partway through you're introduced to Spawn 01, featuring Cyst, trip-hop inspired, feeling way more ethereal, but not in a light, dreamy way, more like you're floating through toxic sludge, being guided by this serene voice, not unlike a siren. Really loving the sound of this song and the whole album so far. I really enjoy the musical influences you hear throughout the album, like on Flux Cocoon having a clear garage UK bass inspired sound, but still having that clear Iglooghost interpretation. Glitchy, ambient, dark, very chaotic but precise. Really enjoying anything Iglooghost does at the minute. It's fresh, it just sounds so good. My only criticism at the minute is that some songs sound kind of similar, but in this case it almost sounds intentional because the album has a clear theme and an overall story that it's following. It's really cohesive. For example, on Echo Lace and Pulse Angel, which both songs I really like, but yeah, they are kind of similar, but they're not similar enough to make me hate them. I still really enjoy them. It's just a small little criticism, like just a tiny little criticism. Entering the final stretch of the album, being broken up by this intermission, has you feeling like you're trying to find the right radio station whilst being drowned and rummaging through interdimensional scrap. Oh my god, when that instrumental picks up in the intermission, this like plucked metallic hook comes in. I kind of wish there was a whole song like this. It left me craving more, just like on that song with Boards of Canada, Kainani Industries, I think it's called. Yeah, it has that vibe to it. Then we have Dewdrop Signal, having this kind of raw energy about it, with this really abrasive like drilling sound, really grabbing your attention, mixed with this bass and heavy ambience and almost chanting. It makes for a really weird like meditative sound. That's like kind of how I want to describe it. Then finishing the album with Geo Sprite Exo, this chaotic, stuttering, beautiful mess that brings the whole album to a conclusion. Honestly, I loved this album so much. It took me back to the day when I was living in Clacton-on-Sea in Essex. I don't recommend it, by the way. Songs I would listen to both in the club and on a come down. Something I loved was the overall feel of the album and the mix as well. Very harsh, but made to sound quite pleasing and sweet. My only criticism was how some of the songs sounded slightly similar, but really that's nothing. It hardly takes away from the experience at all. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to whatever comes next from Iglooghost. So overall, I would give this album my first ever 9.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure. Let me know if you like the album, let me know below. And yeah, hopefully catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.